Yeah, eat, sleep, fantasy, you rockin' with the best. NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. We talking mock drafts, running backs, better follow the conversation.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Eat, Sleep, Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Dale. Clayton's finally joining me. We are going to break down this awesome Fantrax mock draft that we did. If you guys missed it, I posted it on the Facebook private group, Eat Nation private group on Facebook. Make sure you join that if you want to get into our future mocks. Clayton, I'm excited to have you back, brother.
Yeah, sorry, life got in the way here the last week. But I'm back. We're going to be good to go. Next couple mocks, I'm excited to actually do. We got to do them live, though. I think that's the best way to get the reaction right off the top. Right off the top.
But this gives us a little time to think about too. So there's I see the pros and cons to each. So
yeah,
good. By the way, if you guys haven't heard of Fantrax, make sure you go to fantrax.com/ESF to give us a little credit. Tell them we sent you. But it's a really cool platform. If you guys haven't played yet, it's fully customizable, way more customizable than the quote unquote big guys sites, right? And even some of the sites that you use now, it makes it way easier to use this platform and to say, hey, I want extra points for a touchdown under 5 yards. Hey, I want my draft to look like this. It makes it really easy. So make sure you guys go sign up, because not only if you have an account through fantrax.com/ESF, you get into our best ball tournament, which is going to be 300 people. Look, it's a third filled up. I imagine we're going to get a flood here in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you guys sign up before it's too late. If you sign up, all you have to do is beat Clayton or I or any ESF contributor, and you get in the drawing to win cool prizes. Here, let me show you one. Hold on. You can talk.
And don't forget, guys.
If you're on YouTube, make sure you're watching us on YouTube, because I'm going to show you this awesome prize.
Don't forget, guys. You have till August 23rd to get your lineups in. What it is, it's more of a salary-based best ball tournament. So basically, you get, I believe it's $300, and then that way you're at least going to be able to put your best team in for $300. And then Dale's got some merchandise here that he's going to show you. The prizes are sweet.
Yeah, sorry. So Keenan Allen autographed jersey.
Nice.
I'm not going to show all of them now, but we got Calvin Ridley. I got a whole stack of them here, man.
Yeah, it's funny how, once again, Dale, you have all the fun stuff.
I may just keep one or two.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just be with the winners go to make up some name. Hey,
you don't know them. Yeah, they won. You don't know them, so it's fine. And be like, oh, dang it. But
you mind sending you on this way then? Is that cool?
The taxes sending us to Canada is gonna be crazy, man. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, it's insane. Like I said before, when I was mailing stuff for my other podcast, I said it was cheaper to send stuff to the States than it was to ship in Canada, which is beyond me. It blows my mind, but who knows?
Because in Canada they only travel by train, I've heard.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So if you send something to Toronto, you got to put it on the train. It goes all the way through the mountains and past the moose and all that stuff. I've seen the shows.
Okay, that's what the problem is then.
Speaking of movies, there was a show that I wanted you to. I watched the Serena Williams documentary on HBO. Have you seen that?
I have not yet. I did hear it's pretty crazy, though.
Look, I know that I've talked a lot about this. I don't want to push my girls into sports. I would love them to be in sports, but I don't want. I'm trying to figure out, and I actually messaged you a real message, how do you get your kids into sports? Because I have so many friends that their kids aren't into sports. So I'm trying to. I know I can't be as brutal as Earl Woods. I watched that Tiger Woods documentary.
Yeah,
that dude was a psychopath. You're talking about a fucking psychopath. Earl Woods was it, man. He made Tiger Woods. I get it.
Yeah.
So thank the heavens above for making Tiger Woods what he is, or what he was, I guess. But Serena,
the Williams sisters were pretty competitive too, though, with each other.
Very. Yeah. It doesn't really go into a lot of the detail, their training regiments and stuff like that. It really talks about her life and having her baby and all that stuff. But I think it's really I want to watch as much at kids athlete stuff and seeing how their parents are. And
there's one podcast, I'm not going to mention it because it's we're not allowed to do that, but There's one that actually did a story like it was basically based around the Williams sisters and their career.
Why can't we mention it?
I'm just kidding. Sports Wars. I don't know. Have you ever listened to that?
No.
It's oh yeah, it's awesome. They have a whole bunch of just
better than ours. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Everybody turn off this podcast.
Nobody's better than ours. I'm saying when it comes to like all the sports, they did like a Kobe versus Shaq and all this. It's cool. Pretty neat. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, they were talking about how they would go into tournaments together, and if one would lose, the other was like. But I don't even know. But they were almost fighting with each other about it, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, as dominant as Serena Williams has been in her career, it's nuts. It's crazy. She's getting older now, so I don't know. I don't watch a lot of tennis, but anyways, crazy stuff. I'm just trying to be somewhere in between Earl Woods and my parents didn't care if I played sports or not. So I got to be somewhere in between.
That's where my parents were, and then for me myself, I think it was the biggest thing was getting into sports was. Kept me out of trouble, to be honest with you. I could have went one of two ways.
Yeah, me too.
But like we were talking, like my daughter played high level volleyball. Who could have went and played college had it not been for this COVID shit and stuff like that. But you know what? It was just something that she wanted to do. I was coaching my son at the time. She wanted to go into it. And she was going for pretty much most of her life. She's 18 now, but from the time she's probably in grade 5 to the time she graduated, she was going 6 days a week, 3 hours a day, pretty much. So it was
Did you push that at all? Did you?
No,
were there times like she's like, I don't want to do this, and you're like, no, you got to.
Sometimes I did because I think the money aspect that we did invest in it was pretty good. But as far as it went, it was never one of those things where like we do with my son right now, who's in swimming lessons, who absolutely despises water and cries hysterically while we're in the pool.
Yeah. But
we're like, I'm not taking him out. We paid for this. You're going to deal with it. And he's 3. So good job. Yeah. Good parenting. Sarah won't even take him anymore because he like rips like draws blood on her back by like grabbing her so bad.
It sucks. And you strong arm him and just don't win the pool, I bet.
Yeah, I pretend he's a dinosaur. He's obsessed with dinosaurs.
Yeah,
so
that's how you do it.
I don't know. It kind of works, but we'll see.
Yeah, my daughter is all about princesses, so I don't know how much into sports. I think there's gonna be a time where she's gonna want to hang out with me like really soon. You know, like 4, 5, 6, 7, somewhere around there, where like she actually takes value in hanging out with me. And I know it's only gonna last a little bit, so I got to capture that little time. Yeah, like let's go play basketball. Let's play catch. And we play catch in the house, and she's good. Jeez, what are you doing? You okay?
My kids. Hey, I'm recording. Okay, I'll come up a bit.
That's awesome. Like, oh,
can you shut the door, bud? Sorry about that.
All right, let's get into this Fantrax mock draft. I think I had a pretty good draft here, Clayton. As always, we're not going to dive too far into the like sure picks. I'll go through the first couple rounds. You go through the next couple rounds, Clayton. Let's just pick out what we see. We'll talk about it and move on. Okay. I'll do the first 2 rounds and then you do 3 and 4. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right. So the first round, no big things. Obviously, I think Christian McCaffrey is the consensus 101 almost everywhere. So no problems in that. I do like the only 2 wide receivers were taken in the first round, Tyreek and Devontae. I'm completely okay with that. There's not really too many crazy things. I got Nick Chubb at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got Nick Chubb at 108. Nick Chubb, man, I'm telling you guys, we haven't talked about him enough. He's kind of like a shoo-in, right, for top 7 running back, no matter what you're drafting. But Nick Chubb, he's probably going to have one of the best offensive lines behind him on a run-heavy team, and a team that is going to give him the opportunity to score touchdowns as well. This offense should move pretty good. I think Baker Mayfield's going to get better and better. He had that one great season. He improved a little bit last year, I think. So
I think now that he's getting the Odell Beckham back, even just that extra weapon there. Plus, there's talk I was just reading yesterday, talking about the thought about Njoku getting moved. I think they're saying that they're going to keep 2 tight ends around. There's going to be way more passing opportunities for him. I do like Chubb because Chubb's the type of running back where if you're on a team. If you look like when we do talk about running backs, if you're on a team that has another guy like a pass catcher on that team, you're kind of uneasy about where you're going to draft the guy. And in a case like Nick Chubb, I don't care about Kareem Hunt. That's like Chubb's going to eat no matter what. Hunt's going to get his. I think that's just the way they run their offense. And I think, yeah, exactly. And the only real surprise here is after all the injuries to Carson Wentz and, Quentin Nelson was the fact that Jonathan Taylor's still going at number 7.
That's going to correct itself. I mean, the news was relatively new when we did this mock draft. Jonathan Taylor did go at 7. I bet you he gets bumped out of the first round by the time.
Yeah, he should still be an early second round pick, but definitely, I think he's definitely going to, fall to the likes of I could see a Najee Harris jumping up into that first. I see Aaron Jones getting back up in the first now too, right?
Yep.
So
yep.
And just how they were drafted in this mock draft, I think everybody did a great job in the first and second round by the looks of things. There's no real big surprises, like you said.
No, and that's why we don't need to spend a ton of time, talking about AJ Brown late second. I thought that was really interesting. 7 pumps, 45 minutes.
Behind the likes of like a guy like Keenan Allen. But another thing is I don't think Keenan Allen gets enough respect from what he's done in the past. I'm starting to see him, slowly moving ahead of guys like Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, like he did here, even Allen Robinson. Like this guy puts up 1,000-yard seasons. It doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball.
Yep. Justin Herbert. I mean, I think he's a real deal, right?
100%.
Even in his rookie season balling out, and we'll see, now that he has a whole year under his belt. So yeah, we both like Keenan Allen a lot. As far as the other second round picks, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think is going to be moving up a little bit more and more. I know you really like Joe Mixon, but I would like Clyde Edwards-Helaire even before Joe Mixon, especially in this draft. Joe Mixon was taken in the 6th pick in the second round. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire should have jumped before him. But I'm starting to warm up to the fact of Edwards-Helaire being the real deal for some reason, from the things I'm reading about training camp and stuff like that. I think it was just a rough year last year as far as anything goes. I'm not going to give up on a kid that was drafted as high as he was after 1 year. But yeah, with Mixon, it's a durability issue. That's what we've seen in the past. Yeah. It's never really been about a talent issue, but durability. That's the biggest thing. If you can't stay on the field, I mean, what good are you in fantasy, right? Yeah. Especially in the first 2 rounds. So, the one still crazy pick here, we saw Waller go ahead of Kittle. Yeah. I mean, look, 3 picks before Kittle. I'll take Kittle as a second tight end off the board, and late second, early third is about where you're going to need to get him.
That's a steal. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's value, right? At that point, any more than that, maybe start waiting. But, so I'm not mad at it. I could see him flip flopping. I would take Kittle before Waller, but I get it.
It's to each their own when it comes to these tight ends, right? I mean,
only because it's like I don't like Derek Carr.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing, I mean, but is it the thing is though? Kittle's done it, so is Waller. But it comes back down to the quarterback, and really either one of those quarterbacks are not very good, right? So I mean, that's why it's kind of pick your poison as far as who you like better. I personally like Kittle better just because of what we've seen him do more often. But I could also see a case for Waller going ahead of him as well.
Mm-hmm. So my first 2 picks were Nick Chubb and Calvin Ridley, 1 and 2. I was happy with that. All right, now you look at the third round.
I give you credit, Dale. Well done. Oh,
dang. Okay. 4. What do you see?
The third we saw the first quarterback go, Patrick Mahomes. Not too much else. I was kind of shocked as high as David Montgomery went. David Montgomery went at the in the third round, middle of the third round. Ahead of guys like, Chris Carson, DeAndre Swift, even J.K. Dobbins. I kind of think I have a little bit more upside to those 3 guys, especially with Chris Carson. Although I did read the other day that Rashard Penny is, showing some flashes in training camp. So I guess we'll kind of see how that pays off.
Yeah. How much hype has he gotten over the years?
Oh, God. I remember when he got drafted, we had a buddy that just was all in on it. Yeah, I'm dead. And he took him in I want to say he took him in as the 101 spot. In our dynasty draft, and just trash. He signed him for because we do this thing where we can sign a guy for up to 5 years. Signed him for 5 years.
Right.
Finally ended up cutting him last year. So
yeah. So there's a group of running backs I want to point out in the 3rd and 4th round here. I'm going to just list them here. And it's so weird because these names, they are just like grouped together. And then, so we got Miles Sanders, David Montgomery, Chris Carson, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, and Myles Gaskin. And Josh Jacobs. They're all in that same one tier. The only person I like a lot more than everything else is Chris Carson. Miles Sanders, look, I don't like him, but I get it. I get that there's not a lot behind him. I get, that they could have opportunity, and he does have a lot of talent. So I get the Miles Sanders love for those. I'm not taking them, but I get it. So you got Miles Sanders, David Montgomery, basically the same people in my opinion. And then Chris Carson stands above the rest. DeAndre Swift and J.K. Dobbins, obviously their value comes with the upside. They have upside to outperform their ADP for sure. And Myles Gaskin is fine. So it's kind of weird. All these guys are in a tier. I'm taking Chris Carson over all of them though.
I agree, but then I think a close second for me would be a guy like J.K. Dobbins. I was really high on Swift up until the reports with Williams, and we've kind of seen what he did in Green Bay. I do think he's going to be used similarly. Yep. As far as that goes, yes, Sanders is kind of that whole team right now is kind of you're questioning it. They're talking about how talk came out yesterday that talks are heating up again for Deshaun Watson coming, which is beyond me. When you have a guy like Hurts, you give him 5 games technically, and then just give up on the dude and be like, peace out, right? Which is weird to me.
If it's for Deshaun Watson though,
But do you think Hurts gets shipped to Houston? Do you think it's just like a swap like that?
I saw. I think John Chapman tweeted that they have the Texans have a bunch of picks, right? That they can.
Yeah, but as far as Texans fan goes, send Hurts there. I would love Hurts to go there. I can't believe I just said that on there. Jesus. But as far back to this mock draft, I agree. All these kind of running backs kind of went in the same tier, and that's pretty much what they did. As far as I like to see Josh Jacobs falling. I mean, I've seen him going as high as early 3rd, late 2nd round. So he's finally falling down to about where he should be in about the 4th round. Right. That's where he belongs. I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah, whoever drafted Josh Jacobs in the beginning of the 4th should have got Myles Gaskin.
Why is everybody so high on Gaskin? Can you everywhere I read, any mock draft I look at, he's going high up there, in the 4th round. Is there something I'm missing? They signed Malcolm Brown, they got Selvin Ahmed, they got Gaskin. Is Gaskin the real deal?
I mean, he played very well last year. I get that there's people behind him that are going to take opportunities away from him, especially Malcolm Brown, right? We talked about that already on goal line opportunities. But over Josh Jacobs, I get, I wouldn't touch neither one of them over, Sanders or Montgomery or Swift and those guys that we talked about. But I like Gaskin a lot. And I think everybody's excited about the Dolphins offense being able to move and create opportunity. Every time I talk about running backs, I'm just talking about the opportunity that he has to score, right?
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
They're all going to get their attempts, right? All these higher end top 15 running backs, they're all going to get their attempts. That's fine. The attempts, 15 attempts for 50 yards. That's for sure for all of them, right? But are they going to have the opportunity to score? I think Gaskin has an opportunity to score, and that's where his value comes in. So
sorry, buddy, I almost sneezed on there, so I just unmuted. I muted myself. But yeah, when it comes to drafting running backs, I don't know what it is, but people are starting to draft the big names, the ones that they know of, right? So you find a guy like Gaskin, that's where you kind of see him falling where he is, even though his production was pretty good. I think people are just scared off, maybe just because he's a Dolphin, and because of the people that are behind him. But like you said, I mean, production speaks volumes, and I mean, you just look at what he did last year, and now you're coming into a better offense this year. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, cool. I have a confession really quick to make. I know I can take a little detour. So last night I got really pissed off. And this is fantasy related, by the way. So I'm in a league, and it's a big money league. And I had a lot of stuff going on last year. We didn't record a ton out. We just had a ton of shit going on, right? I had a baby, all this stuff. Anyway, no, I didn't have a baby. My mom had a baby.
My mom had a baby.
Holy crap.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah, that was a slip. My wife.
You have a baby brother.
Yeah. Jesus. Anyways, so I had a lot going on last year. A big money league. The first year I was in it, I did very well. I think I finished like second or third in the league. Last year I just sucked. I had like Michael Thomas and a bunch of other guys that just didn't help my team at all. Anyways, so at the end of the year, they were like, "Hey, are you coming back?" Just chatting back and forth. And I said, if you guys can get somebody else, I don't really add a lot of value to the league. Like I'll stay in and I'll pay my dues. But if you could find somebody else, I think, because I wasn't very active, I didn't trade a lot last year. I didn't, I wasn't making a lot of waiver moves. So I was like, if there's going to be an active member, you guys need that, more. I'm okay with it. Well, I forgot I had that conversation. And so today I was like, oh, what happened to that league? Let's see when the draft is. And I was like, shit, I was kicked out of it. I was like, what the fuck? I texted John. I was like, dude, did I get kicked out of this league? And he's like, yeah, you just weren't active, because he didn't know the conversations I had with the commissioner.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you just weren't really active last year. I was like, nobody fucking told me that I was kicked out of this league. I was getting pissed. I was really sending bad vibes to everybody in this league. I was like, this is bullshit. And then I went back and looked at my text. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I told him.
That happened a couple years ago to me. I went in this, I can't even remember. It was some Twitter person actually invited me into a league. So I went into it. I won it. And whatever, got my prizes or whatever. And then next thing you know, the following year, because I didn't have my notifications on, go to look at it similar to what you did. Yeah. And then sure shit, I'm not even in it. So I text the guy. I'm like, I just won this league. We couldn't get a hold of you. I'm like, I said, bullshit, man. And it was a keeper league and everything. I'm like, so I just handed some guy a championship team. Yeah. You guys are dicks.
Anyways, I felt like I had to tell that story. I was pissed off, man. I was really mad, but I saved myself $250.
There you go. So, yeah, just send it half to me, buddy. Yeah, probably using ESF funds anyway, so it's all good.
Just transfer. All right. So the third and fourth, nothing crazy. I did get Robert Woods in the fourth round, which I was really excited about. I talked to him last episode. Robert Woods is a perennial top 15 wide receiver. There's no reason now, especially with Matthew Stafford being upgraded, Robert Woods should be a wide receiver 2 in a league. I don't care if he's drafted on your team.
You just made it sound like you actually talked to him on the phone. You're like, I talked to him last episode.
Did I say talk to him?
Oh yeah, you definitely did.
Right. Hey, if you guys didn't listen to the last episode, I actually called Robert Woods
and discussed his possibility of being a top 15 wide receiver.
Yeah. So especially in PPR formats, full PPR, he's a beast, and he's going to be this year. So even if he's not on your team, just know that Robert Woods is a wide receiver 2 on somebody's team, and they'll be absolutely really happy about it.
Yeah,
a lot of wide receiver heavy draft round.
Well, just mention one more running back here. Did see Mike Davis starting to gain some traction moving up the board. I mean, we're starting to kind of see him in the 7th, 8th round. And now he's back up into the early 5th. So, I mean, people are starting to realize that, when you look at a depth chart behind him, there's not much. So, I mean, he's their bell cow RB1. So that's what you want in fantasy. And to get him down in the 5th round is ideal. Probably going to be your RB2 probably.
Yeah. Right. I mean, on this, so his name is Poker King. I think that's Patrick. He drafted Zeke, and then he went 3 wide receivers. And so he really needed a running back. Why not? Why not take Mike Davis there? He's really, really weak at running back. But I don't know. Let's just look at Patrick's. Yeah, so he doesn't even have a lot of upside. He has Ronald Jones, Tony Pollard, and Mike Davis. That's going to compete for his RB2 spot. So it is what it is, right? But what was I going to say? What were we just talking about?
You're talking about being this 5th round is really wide receiver heavy.
Oh no, the 4th round was really wide receiver.
Right? 4th round. Okay.
Yeah. Adam Thielen, Chris Godwin, DJ Moore, Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans, Tyler Lockett, and Amari Cooper, all drafted in the 4th. So I have no issues with that. Right when you're leaving the 4th and entering the 5th round, you're really starting to look at your roster construction, and that's when you got to start taking. There is some value-based drafting, but also you got to fill your roster. You got to really start thinking about it because. I was going to say, Matt Scalisi I think that's how you say his name. Scalise. I think
I'm
it's
not.
Scalise.
I'm not trying last names, man.
Anyways, he's done a really good job. I think he's been listening to us a lot. So I'll take credit, or we can take credit for his
And he's very
success.
active too, actually, which is awesome in our private group.
That's what I'm saying, Matt. He listens to us. So what he does, he went running back, but then he loaded up on wide receivers, and he got a lot of upside. You got James Robinson, Brandon Ayuk, got Antonio Brown, Noah Fant later in the round. So that's what I'm saying to do. Draft your guys in the first through third or fourth, and then get a bunch of upside, and that's what he did. So I'm happy with that.
Let me ask you, because these receivers went in this order. Going back to the Bengals, Jamar Chase went in the 5th, probably toward the end of the 5th, and then we saw T. Higgins go early 6th, and then Tyler Boyd was in the 7th, I believe. Yeah, Tyler Boyd was in the late 7th. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with how those guys should be drafted in that order?
Say the order again. I'm sorry.
Chase, Higgins, and Boyd.
I don't think Chase should be drafted that early. Do you? I mean, I get the upside.
Number one, I'm hearing Burrow's just throwing nothing but picks in training camp right now, so that's not a good thing. I don't know if that's a fact of him trying to force things. Like, I haven't really looked into it. But I have no respect for Tyler Boyd anymore. I would way rather have Tyler Boyd way down in the 7th round than either Higgins or Chase, burning a spot in the 5th, 6th round. I think there's more value. Like, if we look at the guys that went ahead behind Chase as far as wide receivers, I'd rather have Ayuk. Claypool, I think I would rather have. Stuff like that. They're kind of just in this order of, even Cortland Sutton, I'd rather have ahead of Chase right now.
Okay.
But as far as Tyler Boyd, way down in the 7th round, from what he's done, I mean, with Burrows last year, I mean, he was a wide receiver. I think it was between 8 and 10 in the first, whatever it is, 8 weeks or something like that of the year. I mean, they're not just going to go away from Tyler Boyd. You know what I mean? Just because you got a guy like Chase, sure, if Burrow's going to start forcing him the ball, probably we're going to see a lot more picks. I mean, give this guy a little bit of, give this guy a little bit of time to figure out the NFL before we start, saying that he's going to be the definite wide receiver 1 on this team.
Yep. Cool. All right. So we're moving on. Let's look at some of the guys. A lot of quarterbacks were taken in the 6th round. You got Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott. I'm okay with the 6th round if that's what you want. Personally, I'm waiting, but you can wait 2 rounds later and get Ryan Tannehill in the 8th over Dak Prescott in the 6th. Somehow we always end up talking about Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we talked about before, and it's based on what your scoring is. I mean, if it's a super flex, you're going to see all these quarterbacks fly off the board early. Yeah. But right now, if you're going to 1 quarterback league, you can hold off. You can let these guys fall to the 7th, 8th round before you take your first quarterback. If you don't get one of those, elite guys like a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes or something like that, take a stab at a guy like Ryan Tannehill. The guy's going to ball out. He's got the weapons. He's done it the last couple of years. I mean, I have no problem grabbing him later in the 8th round compared to a guy like reaching for a guy like like you said, Russell Wilson or something like that. So
right. All right, going into like the 9th and 10th rounds, stuff gets interesting. Guys like AJ Dillon are going to start being drafted. Melvin Gordon, by the way, was drafted in the 8th round. I know you hate Melvin Gordon. I don't know why I say this.
I am.
And 8th round is a value.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know why. I'm not. I'll let you talk about him. I would have him over Mostert. How about that? Is that better? They went back to back picks, but I'd rather him ahead of Mostert. I guess he's kind of drafted. There's not many guys behind him that I'm looking at that I would rather have.
Would you take ahead of? Would you take the upside of Michael Carter for the New York Jets over Melvin Gordon?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, the floor of Melvin Gordon, I think is.
But the Javonte Williams, I mean, I don't know. They drafted this guy high. I mean, his college tape is awesome. Melvin Gordon, he could be a guy that could get traded early in the season. like he has proven, like I talked about it earlier. I mean, production speaks volumes, and he has definitely done that. But I just think this whole Denver Broncos team in general is going to be kind of up in the air. When they still don't even know what they're doing with quarterback situation. I mean, they got the talent on the receiving side of the ball, and yeah, they got 2 talented running backs. But I'm just not sure how it's going to play out as far as play calling goes. Is it going to be a run first team? Is it going to be pass heavy? Like, you know what I mean? So as far as that goes, I mean, I'd rather have a guy like Javonte Williams, who I know is going to be, they're going to want to put out early just because of just because of the draft capital, I think.
Yeah. Cool.
Apparently a lot of people walked away from around. I see a lot of defenses.
Well, I think there was I think the system froze actually in the 8th round here because there was a lot of I think it was messing up on me, and I thought maybe it was just my phone or my internet, but I think
so we could skip the defenses. Never draft the defense in the single digit rounds. Wait till the late, probably. I don't know, I've always drafted them. I don't even care about defense. I always draft my kicker and defense my last 2 picks in the draft. So I mean, that's how it's always been. I'll get stuck with the worst defense, whatever, just hope at one point it hits. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think Melvin Gordon. Oh, I do want to mention James Robinson was drafted after Travis Etienne.
That is better. This is what I'm talking about, really? Dale. Talking about way down in these drafts. Well, the last few we were doing, you thought he was the next, LaDainian Tomlinson, drafting him freaking way up there in the top of the second. For a guy that's basically going to be in a timeshare.
I'm sorry, James Robinson. Okay, in this draft, he was drafted after Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne, Kareem Hunt, and Trey Sermon. Give me a break.
He should be ahead. After those. No, guys. He should be ahead of those guys, except Javonte Williams, I think.
Okay. All right.
I was kind of shocked to see how David Johnson got drafted in the 8th. I think that's, if you look at other guys, I mean, like Zach Moss, no love for Zach Moss I'm finding in any of these mocks too. Is it just drafted? He was drafted in the 10th round, early 10th.
That's
but
nice.
Just, for great value, I think, because I think he's going to be the guy there in Buffalo.
Yeah. I mean, that was Ant David.
Ant David.
Yeah, Ant David. So he went for some side. He got Melvin Gordon, which is great, in the 8th, AJ Dillon in the 9th, and Zach Moss in the 10th. Now that's how if you're feeling weak at running back, because he took Trey Sermon all the way in the 5th round, so I'm sure he's feeling a little weak. And you got Aaron Jones, so he handcuffed Aaron Jones. But if you do that, he went three rounds in a row. He got upside there. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
for
it.
sure.
I mean, he corrected himself pretty well.
I don't think AJ Jones or Dillon is necessarily just a handcuff to Aaron Jones. I still do think he's going to get,
He's not startable though. He's not startable.
Oh no, definitely not. I think he's flex worthy though.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll save that for another podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's. I'll give my winner. You give your winner, so there can be 2 winners. Okay. All right. Going really quick. I'm going to say my team. I got Nick Chubb, Calvin Ridley, Chris Carson, Robert Woods, Javonte Williams, Chase Edmonds, Tyler Boyd. My first quarterback, I got him super late in the 8th round. Jalen Hurts, which I'm okay with. Going all the way down to the end of the draft, I got Darryl Mooney, and I backed up Jalen Hurts with Ryan Fitzpatrick as my very last pick. I'm giving myself an A+. Who do you got?
List off Rob's team. I like the way the roster construction. Yeah.
I liked it too. Eckler, Diggs, J.K. Dobbins, Amari Cooper, so he's balanced. They got T.J. Hawkinson as his tight end. Michael Carter, which I think it was a little early, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Michael Carter. If he would have put Melvin Gordon there, I would have been happier.
No, good job, Rob. I like it. I like the Michael Carter pick.
He took Thomas in the 7th round, probably a little bit early, but that's okay. Raheem Mostert. Joe Burrow was his first quarterback. I'm okay. He waited super late, and he still got Joe Burrow. Yeah, and Elijah Moore.
I like the Elijah Moore. I like the upside of that and what we're hearing about him. Good job, Rob. I like this.
Good job, Rob. That's his name from now on. Can we call him
Good job, Rob.
All right, cool. That was a lot of fun, man. I hope you guys got a little bit of something from this mock draft. Even if you weren't in the mock draft, I feel like we touched on enough players where it's everybody's happy and we're good.
And it's going to get better, throughout the weeks now when we got, actually some football starting, we're going to hear a lot more news on guys. You're going to see a lot of these guys, the ADPs fluctuate, for the next probably 3 weeks before, final cuts come. Yeah. But I'm excited, man. Season's right around the corner. We're going to see a lot of each other, buddy.
Yeah.
And
cool.
Should be awesome.
All right, man. Well, Clayton, it was a pleasure. I love seeing your pretty face.
Always, buddy.
I hope everybody has a good week. We put 2 episodes out this week. That's pretty damn good.
We did, yeah. And we're hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have some surprises for you guys next week.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget.
We might show up on your feed a few more times than you actually think.
Don't forget, look in the description of this podcast to sign up for that mock draft. I'm not a mock draft for the big best ball tournament. Best ball's fun. It's easy.
It is. You know what? I'm in way too. I don't know about you. I'm in way too many fantasy leagues. Way too many.
Yeah, you're
where even my wife is just like, this is ridiculous. But whatever, it is what it is. I'm sorry that on Tuesday nights I have to stay on my phone and make my 9 million waiver transactions. But it is what it is. But if I was in that many leagues, all best ball, it'd be way better.
Yeah,
just leave it. You just leave it alone, right? So,
have you been hooked up with Mikey doing all his dynasty best balls? Are you in any of his leagues?
No, I'm not.
Oh man, okay.
I should probably reach out to him.
Our buddy, he runs best ball leagues. I think he has like 15 of them now. They're only $15, but they're all dynasty best balls, and you get to keep 3 or 4 players each year, and it's a lot of fun. And so,
well, Mikey, why aren't you hitting me up, buddy? Come on, man.
Hey, that's not his job. He's busy, man.
Hey, if he wants me to join, if he needs,
I don't know if he wants you to join.
I'm his guy. Maybe he's not. Yeah, because usually he does a lot of pools, does like NCAA stuff all the time for March Madness.
He's basically
and
a bookie. Yeah.
I was in it for like 2 years, and all of a sudden, no invite last year. Thanks, Mikey. Appreciate it.
Well, they didn't have anything last year.
Or 2 years ago, whatever it was. And then he says,
"Did they have something last year? Did they have March Madness?"
Yes, they had. They had games last year.
This year.
Or this year. Sorry, this year.
Yeah. Anyways.
So, Mikey, if you lost my contact, man, just reach out to me on Twitter at Canadian Clay FF, buddy. I got you.
Or at Eat Sleep FF. We appreciate everybody. EatSleepFantasy.com is a website. Love you guys. Love you, Clayton.
Love you too, buddy. Peace.
Dream and Eat Nation, we doing what we like. Tune in every week, guarantee we get it hype. Fantasy, football enthusiasts, I know you plan to be joining us on Eat Sleep Fantasy.